So, originally when I got involved with this, Ms. Boyd asked my class if anybody wanted an application. And, like usual in a lot of classes, nobody raised their hand. So, I took one thinking, I'll be different, I'll, set a trend maybe. But I really wasn't quite sure what I was getting myself into. I'm here today to share with you a passion of mine, which is playing the guitar, as well as its deeper implications. I began to learn when my mom said I needed to be 10 to play. So I waited till I was 10 and I started taking lessons. Until then, when I started off, I really didn't practice so much and I didn't really get better. Though a couple years after that, I was in my kitchen playing it was Christmas time, so I was playing a really easy, Christmas carol, and it started to become recognizable, and I started to think how cool that was to actually play something I knew and play something that I could, keep a beat and keep a tune. One reason playing guitar is my passion is that I love being able to play the songs that I hear on the radio or hear on my iPod or at a concert. That's something indescribable, being able to recreate that song, whatever your favorite song is. A couple months ago, I got a book on Coldplay songs, and most of you know that one of Coldplay's most famous songs is called Clocks, and you can recognize it. And being able to recreate that song and play it on the guitar was it was really cool, even though it's really simple to play on the guitar. It's, I think that's why most musicians play, is because they love being able to do that or, play their favorite song. Now that I've started to develop my actual skills in playing the guitar, I've started to think about what I want to do with it in my future. Whether I want to, get more serious with it and create, some sort of profession out of it, or, whatever. My friend Andrew and I have started to think about making a band, but we really don't know, who's going to be in it, what we're going to play, any of that. I think we'd just like to say we're starting a band. So, that guitar is pretty cheap. It's probably $200. I didn't really need the latest $3,000 Fender guitar or the loudest amp, nor does anybody really need a $3,000 guitar. But a lot of musicians got their roots from that cheap guitar, that whatever instrument they might play. Many of the musicians that came before us have had similar situations, and the basketball player doesn't need the latest pair of basketball shoes. He just needs, a hoop, a basketball, some sneakers, and determination, really. And practice does make perfect. It's not, just a cheesy saying you see on your locker room, wall. It's reality. Music and the guitar have the power to change lives and as well enhance the way we live. We all know that song that picks us up if we're having a bad day or gives us chills. One song that does it for me is Clocks by Coldplay, but we all have that favorite song. music lets people express what they can't actually put in words, like speaking out against a wrongdoing in the world. And it has in the past, and it always will. Like, to think about, I can't even begin to list, you know, the musicians and guitarists who've come before us, you know, Beatles or, you know, whatever your favorite band is. And all of the musicians that are going to come, you know, in the future. And one of my favorite feelings is when I go to a concert and I'm hearing my favorite band playing my favorite song. It's something I can't like describe, you know. I guess if you've been to a concert and seen your favorite band and play your favorite song, but I really haven't faced any hardships in my life or traumatic experiences. And I hope I don't have to face any in the future. But we all have bad days, you know. Everyone in this room has had a bad day or a bad week. You know, last week was pretty stressful for me. And being able to play guitar helps me, like, it gives me optimism about moving on to tomorrow, and it gives me a positive attitude, because when I'm playing guitar, I can just like chill out. There's no right or wrong. I don't have to be graded by criteria C on the rubric or anything. You know, there's no grades or anything. And I feel that guitar should be put to good use, or any music. It should be put to good use. Like I help myself by playing the guitar, which when I have a bad day or any of that. But it could be used for something more serious, like helping somebody, you know, facing a mental illness or, you know, a hardship. The great thing about music is that it appeals to everyone, and it's not just an absolute, I'm, you know, trying to say, it's everybody in this room, it's everybody in the world, everyone in our school. And so if it affects all of us, then it should be able to help anyone in any way. So I guess what I'm getting at is, you know, like, if you don't get anything else from this talk, you know, let it be this. Put your passion to good use, whether it's guitar or music like me, but anything. And find a way to put it to good use, like helping someone else or helping yourself even. Thank you.
Wait, Sharon, wait. He's gonna play.
So once again, we would like to open the floor to audience discussion. And I would like to actually start the discussion. One thing that I know Ben really focused on in his presentation was using the power of music in IB 20th Century Topics, which is a study of 20th century history. We do a unit on the World Wars. So during those times, we always start the day with a song of the day. When we listen to a song that was released during World War I or World War II or the Vietnam War. And I think what I got from that really connected to Ben's point. It's really the power of music. When you put your passion into music and you let it shine through music, I think that's where it can really make a statement. A lot of songs during World War I and World War II and the Vietnam War, the songs that we've studied, really show the people's passion and their mentality during that time. And ultimately, you know, it shines through, it got through, it did impact the politics of the time, and I think that's where the true power of music lies. So, yeah. So if anyone else would like to contribute, just go ahead and raise your hand.
Ben?
Yep.
Is it on? Oh, it is on. Okay, Ben, do you think you can play something else for us, please?
Oh. I originally intended to play something I created, so I just, you know, really started messing around and playing a solo type thing I created. So,
you talked about how music can like help people that are feeling down. So I was wondering how like you want to use music to help like lift people up in like hard situations.
Yeah, well, originally, like, Sharon wanted me to get into, like, music therapy and how it helps people, like, actually facing, you know, like somebody who's in the hospital facing, like, post-traumatic stress disorder or any of that. So, like, you can take it to the level where you're helping somebody who has a physical or actual illness, but you can also, like, I think by teaching it is one of the things where you can, like, teach somebody to play the guitar and then they can help themselves and they can, you know, pass it on to somebody else.
Yeah.